This is episode 7, the final episode, or not, of the Nanacast. I'm Whooper, and here's
Yep.
Mario.
Yep. Hey guys, and we're at the end of Nana now.
We are at the end of the Nana anime,
Anyway, that's right.
but the manga remains. Will we cover it, and when? Those are questions that I don't have the answer to just yet. For now, we're just going to talk about episodes 43 to 47. Those are the last 5 episodes of the anime.
hmm
In the numbering scheme that it excludes the recaps or some of the recaps. It was a Madhouse show in the mid 2000s. There were recaps.
Yep.
But these 5 episodes are not that. They are jam packed with plot developments, character relationships, reunions between our
Yep.
original couple, Nana or
Yep.
Hachi and Shulji, and manipulation, and a flash forward, a look into the future,
Yep.
a whole mess of stuff. Where should we
Yep.
start?
All right. I got a lot of things to say about the ending, but we can start with episode 43 when Plus making a live performance like
Is the gorilla
immediate.
live in episode 43?
That's right. Yes.
Oh yeah, you're right.
It Yep. So they do the career life, and I think that Nana gave Hachi the spot, like where they play, so that Hachi can be there and watch them play live.
Yes. So she texts Hachi through Shin's phone. In fact, there are a
Mm.
good number of
Yep.
text messages
Yep.
that are put on screen across these episodes. I think a lot of them are concentrated in this first one, episode 43.
Mm.
But since Nana doesn't have a cell phone due to drowning it in a sink,
Yep.
she now texts people from Shin's phone, Nobu's phone, Yasu's phone, and we see some of that here. And that does include the message that you're referring to.
Yep.
So yeah, Hachi gets to see the concert, which is nice, because the two women haven't been, you know, it's not as though they're face to face in that moment, but they haven't really seen each other in a long
For
time.
so
So at
long.
least they get close here.
Yep. Yep. So I think that was a success because now Plus and Blackstone are becoming like a rival bands, and they're making a appearance on the next episode in episode 44, and
What do you mean? Like
that's where
the music show, the TV show that they do together?
yeah, that featured them together, and that where Nana want to break up uh with her boyfriend, which Drain instead proposed her. So if any, it is the one thing. This is the one trend that I really not fond of Nana is that like all our women just like thinking of one thing to do. This is like the right way to do, and then get swept up by the boys. That happened multiple times before with Nana and Hachi. Nana with Rain, when they go back together. Hachi multiple times with Takumi.
Right.
Uh, I yeah, I noticed that trend, but like the way the show does that still very very effective.
Yeah. Well, I think in the case of these two characters specifically,
Hmm.
Nana has like dependency issues and is
Yep.
scarred from her childhood, I feel. And Yasu even points that out to Ren in a bathroom stall, in what might have been episode 44.
Hmm.
Do you remember the scene where he's confronting Ren about the fact that he's I mean the
Drug
anime is
use.
more vague about it than the manga, but
Yep.
he's confronting him about his drug use. Yeah.
Yep. 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 Yep.
And he loops Nana into it
Yep.
because he references the fact that Nana must have had a really hard time accepting Hachi and Takumi's relationship,
Yep.
because of Nana's own past, like her the fact that she
Her
was
mother.
abandoned by her mother.
Yep.
Yeah, so Nana would have been like at war with herself, not wanting to see not wanting to see Hachi together with Takumi, but also wanting the baby to be cared for.
Mhm.
If she was indeed going to have the baby, because that was up in the air for a while.
Yeah.
Um, we know now, thanks to the flash forward in episode 47, which we'll get to eventually, that she did have the baby, and it was not named Sachiko
I don't know why.
Takumi
Yeah.
wanted. Well, maybe it was like a small act of rebellion on her part
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
against Takumi's wishes. Or maybe they realized it was a bad idea to name their kid after the manifestation of, you know, like the devil that Hachi has imagined for her whole life and blamed all of her problems on. Not the best omen for their kid.
Yeah. Well.
But yeah,
Yeah.
Yasu points that out to Ren. Like Nana's really struggling whenever she's apart from you, and she struggles in general. And
Mhm.
so I think that might be the reason why her specifically, why she has those that tendency to like make up her mind to do something and then be convinced not to do it because of the
Yeah.
influence of a man. As for
Mhm.
Hachi, I think she's just a little bit more like she needs to be loved. I don't know
Yeah.
if we can really trace that to some event in her childhood, but that is part of her
Yeah.
character. I do think there are women in the series who aren't so easily swayed. Although now that
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of one, I'm kind of struggling. Maybe the new
uh,
girls in the Gaia dormitory. Maybe one of them would
Meal.
qualify. Yeah, potentially. She seems like she's got a
I.
pretty good head on her shoulders
All right.
from what we know of her thus
Yeah.
far.
I would say Mew is becoming my favorite characters now.
Yeah,
Just
I
the
kind of
way that
agree, dude.
she's so cool. She know that Nobu take an interest to her, and she just so cucumber about that.
Yeah, that's true. When she reveals that she's actually 27.
Yep.
And I think the animation in that scene is that he's like pushed back by the number 27, like is imposed on
Yep.
his body and kind of pushes him back against the wall. There's
Yep.
a lot of like real, the integration of manga gags like just directly into the reality of the anime. That's a kind of a
Mm-hmm.
specialty of Morio Asaka's. He's done that
Yep.
in like Chihaya Furu and
I
stuff as well.
and I'm not sure if she telling the truth that she 27 years old,
Mm.
and and she even good at playing mahjong. I just started playing mahjong now, so I kind of appreciate.
Oh, is that right?
Uh, yeah, how good she play.
Yeah, maybe you'll have to rewatch that scene and take a leaf out
I
of her
did.
book. Whatever, because there's a whole bunch of different, like when you play mahjong, there's a whole bunch of different ways that you can go out, so to
Win.
speak, right?
Yep. Yeah,
And
that's right. And it have like it depend on like the hands that you have. You can win strong, bigger or smaller as well. I'm not reaching that level yet.
yeah, and there's aren't there like hundreds of different ways that you can do it, and they all have different names that you have to say when you put your tiles down.
That's right. I cannot say that. I'm not that level yet.
Yeah, that's it. Seems like a crazy game, man.
Yeah, it's hard just to recognize uh the uh the cat already, the towel already. So it's a learning curve for me now.
Yeah, I mean, I watched all of Akagi, and I still don't understand the first thing about mahjong.
Yeah,
So I guess I wasn't paying good
understandable.
attention.
Understandable. It's a hard game.
Yeah,
But
she's very interesting. Yuri is
mhm,
I mean, she's a much more straightforward character.
yeah,
Um
yeah,
but she's kind of fun as well.
yeah, yeah,
And I will
yeah,
say just as a very minor spoiler that you get to know more about both of them as the manga continues. I mean, they don't
yeah,
become like principal characters or anything, but they stick around for a good while.
yeah. Oh, I
There's
I
a love
I pretty
triangle
much
with
welcome
Nobu
that.
right now.
Yeah.
So at the very least, they're involved in that.
I would say Mio is my favorite by a wide margin.
Oh, as far as
If
who's
I
going to
would
end up with Nobu.
if I was Nobu, I would pick Mio. Like even before Hachi. Oh
I don't know
Nana.
if I would be able to resist Yuri. I'm just going to be completely honest. Maybe that's a little gross of me to say, but I think that's just reality.
Alrighty. So, is there really a confirmation that Nana accept Rain marriage proposal?
Is there
Because
confirmation? No, she doesn't. I mean, in these episodes, she doesn't say to him, okay.
yeah, but
Um,
I think Rain take that as a yes.
I don't. I don't think so.
Right.
She, like, after he proposes to her, then they have sex, and
Yeah.
then when we see them a little bit later, she's like, "How you?" She's kind of criticizing him for putting that out there so
Mhm.
quickly or so unexpectedly. But she doesn't appear to hate the idea. And he was like, "So you'll." What does he say? Does he say something like, "So you'll do it," or "So you'll go along with it,"
Yeah.
or
Yeah. That's right.
but she doesn't.
As
She doesn't say anything in response to that. At
yeah.
least not
Yeah.
that like directly confirms or denies it. She's just kind
Yeah.
of frustrated with the way that he's gone about it.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I
The
remember now. She's doesn't she say like I'll contact my agency or something?
yeah, I think she did say that, yes.
Right. So
And
that could indicate he could think, "Oh, we get the green light." But
yeah.
that could just as easily be like an easy way, like a gentle way to put it off until she can say no later.
Yeah. And Grant's having the idea of buying the engagement ring, just like Takumi's.
Right.
So it might turn out that Nana and Hachi have the same rings on their hands, and that come to the last episode, which we will talk in detail later on.
Well, the possibility of them having the same ring is kind of hinted at in the outro, like from Future Nana, in maybe is it episode 45,
Yeah.
Forty-four?
What did she tell
Do
us?
you remember when she says Future Nana's talking to Hachi? She's addressing Hachi and she's saying, "I never imagined, given that the two of us are so different and have such different interests, I
Mhm.
never imagined that the two of us would share."
The same ring.
Yeah, well, she dresses it up a little bit. At least in my
Yep.
subtitles, I can't remember what she says exactly. What
Yep.
is it? Control F ring. I'm looking through my notes now. Okay, here we go. It
Oh,
is episode 45,
yep.
and Nana says like she wants Hachi to continue to cherish her name brand standard design ring.
All right.
And before that, she says something about the two of them sharing
Yep.
in the delight of a jewel or something like that.
Yep.
I
All
don't know if
right.
that means that future Nana actually did get married and they do share, like they do have the same ring, or just they're both married and wear rings on their fingers, or if it was
Yep.
more speculative, like I didn't think it was possible,
Mhm.
as though she hasn't done it, or it's up in the air and we're not sure. I think it was
Yep.
vague enough
Mhm.
that we don't know.
Right. And it's come to Hachi suggest them to watch the firework. And I just love all the reaction from the band because even to the outsider like Mio and especially Mio, I don't think Yuri picked that up. She can say that oh, Yuri did pick that up as well. So they can say that Hachi is someone important, that like her invitation that make everyone just kind of speechless.
Yeah, I mean Yuri definitely picked up on it because she was like,
Yep.
"Oh no, Nobu needs to go to bed early."
That's true. Yes.
She's pretty aggressive,
Yep.
which is funny. It's fun in its own way.
Yep.
But yeah, I of course when the news broke, I guess in during the mahjong party that Hachi had contacted them and wanted to see the fireworks. Was it really Hachi's idea? I don't
It
think it
was
was.
Hachi
Was it?
idea. It was Hachi idea, and she asked Shin about that, and Shin just tell everyone else.
Hmm.
And it was Nana idea to meet up at the room.
Yeah, apartment 707 because she
Yep.
wanted to set up Nobu
And
and Hachi.
And that's where I don't get it. Is they still for rent? So they still pay for the rent of that apartment?
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah. Nana's still paying.
rich kids. All right,
Wait, what do you mean with kids? What do you
big
mean?
rich kids because they don't live there anymore.
Oh, did
None
you
of
say
them live
rich
there anymore.
kids?
Yeah, rich
I thought
kids.
you said with kids,
No, rich.
like a reference to the fact that Hachi in the future has a child.
Ah, okay.
Um, I yeah, the apartment. I don't know for sure who's paying for it, but I can recall vaguely some references to the fact that they continue to pay the rent.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Nana may say that it's no big deal because Ren is paying for it, or
Or
uh,
had she just say that she gonna pay regardless because she left early.
right, she may pay her share of the rent through a particular date, or maybe it's Takumi who says that to Nana during the scene
Yeah,
where he's like
yeah.
Nana's or Hachi's sitting silently and Takumi's explaining their relationship and stuff. Yeah,
Anyway,
somewhere in there, the apartment is being paid for, and it's even being paid for far into the future.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Um, I kind of I really don't remember that Hachi was the one who came up with the idea that everyone see the fireworks together. Why am I blanking on that?
Really, because I remember the exact text message that she sent to Shin that last time we missed the firework display. So this time, do you want all of us meeting together to watch the firework?
So does this happen in proximity to the conversation that she has with Jun at her apartment, where
All
she's
right.
like, "I want to see Nobu again because I want there to be closure." You remember when
Good point.
Junko comes over? There are a couple scenes with Hachi and Junko together. The first
Oh,
one
see, yeah.
is
Junko is just the best friends. I enjoy her company a lot.
yeah.
In
Her
regard to
dynamic
that scene,
with Hachi is not something that I am overly familiar with. I'm not
yeah,
having like witnessed a lot of girl friendships that go through such difficult times together. I'm mostly on the other end.
yeah,
So Junko's character has been enlightening for me, I guess. But the
it-
you remember when she was like, "I want to see Nobu," and a lot of her desire to have closure in the relationship with Nobu stems from the fact that she
yeah,
didn't get any with Shoji.
yeah. I think it's from the same episode, so it might have been from the same time as well.
Like she sends the text message to Shin, perhaps motivated by the desire to see Nobu again on some level,
Yep,
but then
yep,
realizes, especially after seeing Shoji in episode 46, which is the
yep.
reunion, it's not a good
See,
idea
that's it.
because she's feeling extremely vulnerable.
Yep, 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 yep. Oh man,
Yeah, so that
her
is when
decision.
episodes
Yep,
46 and 47 is really when uh I mean it's mostly 47. The show went crazy
yep.
at the
All
very
right, let's
end.
go. Let's go with 46 first. Let's go with the reunion between Hachi and Sochi first. Because I think that important. I think at some point Hachi and Sochi have to meet again in order to clear things up, and I think this is exactly does it. Especially Sochi when he say that it's good to see you now, so that I will see you again. I think that really hit Hachi really hard.
Well, specifically he says that like he doesn't have the right to see her again or
Mm.
something something along those lines.
Yep, yep,
Like
yep. He did
he
say
has
that.
to live with what he's done. I remember him saying that word for word.
Yep,
Um, you
yep,
know, and that upsets her because it not only does it remind her of everything that he did do, like the fact that he was unfaithful,
yep,
and that he, as well as Hachi, allowed their relationship to degrade to that point. Um, it also creates an air of finality, like she's never going to see him again. And
yep,
she says she thinks to herself or says to herself, I was at my most comfortable when I was with Shoji. Like nobody, I've never felt that way about anybody else.
yep.
So I'm tempted to be like, wait a minute, this is coming out of nowhere. We haven't seriously thought about his character in so long. But she has brought him up from time to time when talking
Yep.
to Junko. And we do
Yep.
see him from time to time in the Jackson Hole scenes
Yep.
with
Hmm.
Kyosuke and Junchan. So the show did keep him around, I assume, for this moment.
I agree. I agree. And yeah, I think it's just Hachi. I think it's good for Hachi to, like, because when they broke up, the Hachi kind of, like, swipe off Sochi name out of her mind. So she never mentioned him again. She never really give a thought about their relationship anymore, or about him anymore. So I think it's good for her to, uh kind of see that face to face now when she, like, in another stage of her life doing that. But yeah, that's the point where, like, she realized that she the most comfortable with Soji, kind of itch me as well.
Yeah, it doesn't. It feels. I don't know whether
I
it feels wrong, like it shouldn't have happened, like it shouldn't have been written that way, or if it's just disappointing to know that she's still hung up on him,
Yeah, true.
or if
Yeah.
it's, or what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, but they
I mean,
they
if that's the case, I feel sorry for her.
yeah. But the result is that she feels so upset that she doesn't want to face Nobu.
Right.
Poor Nobu, because Nana also said that Nobu didn't come.
Right. Yeah, and that's. I mean, Nana went. She almost went full villain mode in
Yeah,
episode 47. Big puppet
yeah.
master wanting to keep Hachi in her garden.
All right.
Still.
So now, all right, come to my picky issue at number four, at episode the last episode 47, because we got the fast forwards with the adult uh, version of the cast.
Well, they are all
And
adults, right? Well, not
yeah,
Shin.
I yeah, I would say it's just like 3 4 years into the future, because the kids is about that age, or
I think
5 6.
Satsuki is probably older than 3 or 4. Yeah, I think she's probably
Yeah.
like 6 or 7 years old. Would be my
All right.
guess.
So 6 to 7 years into the future.
I think so. Because
And
Shin is also really tall. He's taller than Nobu, as he loves to remind him.
right, that's
Everybody's
right.
making fun of Nobu's height, and Shin he doesn't have blue hair anymore. He's tall. Apparently, he's an actor.
Yeah.
Hachi references that.
Yeah. Wow. Um okay, my first concern is that we don't see Nana in the scenes, and we keep mentioning they keep mentioning about Rain. So Rain will coming soon. So I've before the episode I first thought that Rain, with his, like, abusive drug use, he gonna pass away anytime soon, and it's Nana have to deal with that. But this episode just flipped everything out of the window, man. It flipped the rock out, the rock out of my feet. So I now think that maybe Nana, because the lack of everyone mentioning Nana, is that Nana isn't here in the future anymore.
That
Everyone kind of look back.
she's not here in
That's
the
gonna be
future,
sad for
meaning
me.
you suspect that she may have killed herself.
6 to 7 years in the future, yes, maybe she kill herself, or maybe she gets sick, because, like, she have a symptom of, being sick.
Right. Yeah, she could be like bipolar or have
Yeah,
some mental disorder.
yeah.
I think we're probably meant to believe that she does.
Damn.
And yeah, I mean, the show does leave it open. It does reference that Ren is alive and that he will be joining them soon, or that he could potentially be joining them. I don't know,
Yeah,
but we don't know if Nana is alive or not. So where the show, obviously the show begins with Hachi as the main character. It's episode, I think I went back and I think it's episode 30. Yeah, episode 30 is the one where Nana takes over as the narrator.
yeah, yeah.
That's also the last time that the two girls talk to one another, I think, is in episode
Right.
29 or 30. They see each other in episode 34, which is the one where Hachi sits quietly at the table where Takumi
Yeah,
talks to Nana
yeah,
about what the deal is going to be going forward.
Yep. Yep.
But it's at the show switches narrators at the same time that the girls stop speaking to one another. So the
Hmm.
question is, does Nana's, if we're, you know, considering the possibility that Nana has passed away, where does her narration fall? Like, when did she think those thoughts or write those words or whatever it is that she did in the
Hmm.
show's time in its timeline? And we still don't know the answer to that.
We don't know the answer for that, and even that come to my second issue with the last episodes is that the whole thing is setting up that like you said, the last time they talked to each other is back in episode 30, and they met briefly for episode 34,
Yeah.
and they haven't met each other scene until this very last episodes. So the I think the firework display, the festival is meant to be for them to in order to see each other, but the show actually changed that into Hachi and Nobu's conflict, and that doesn't sit well to me because it kind of make their reunion, Nana and Hachi, to be very anticlimactic. They actually just like they have a brief scene together and talk something about Nobu,
Yeah,
which
well, not just about Nobu, but also like she encourages her not to let Takumi's infidelity
yeah,
discourage
yeah, yeah,
her.
yeah.
And there's a contrast. The show even contrasts the fact that she's now advising Hachi to stay with a man who's not faithful to her,
Mhm.
with the the violent outburst that she had when it was revealed that Shoji was cheating on her.
Yep,
Like an
yep,
image of her
yep,
in Hachi's mind, I think, an image of Nana like with an extreme like a vicious expression on her face, pointing
mhm,
back at Shoji and Sachiko, because they had
yep,
that confrontation in like I don't know, it was around episode 12-ish or something like that.
yep. It's a long time ago, in our perspective, but it might just be like 6 or 8 months
Yeah,
from these stories.
right. So the like it's it's interesting what that suggests. Like, does it
Mhm.
suggest that Nana has changed and recognizes that Hachi's in a place now where she needs to stay together with Takumi? So she, even though she hates Takumi, she's advising him like, hey, even if he has women on the side, don't like keep your head up.
Mhm.
Or does it indicate that she doesn't have faith in Hachi anymore? Like she doesn't think that it's worth the fight
Yeah,
on her part, and
it's definitely
she
yeah, it's
recognizes that
definitely
because she didn't like Nobu didn't step up and
yeah,
make his presence known on the other side of the door, she like doesn't see it as possible for her to keep Hachi quote unquote in her garden anymore. So
yeah,
she's like, well, just stay with Takumi then.
yeah.
What is Nana's?
Uh,
It's ambiguous what Nana's like, what her mentality is. I think when she gives her that piece of advice.
mhm, mhm. I think it's definitely the first one for me. But yeah, you can interpret it in the second way as well.
The first one being that she just wants to
Uh,
like be encouraging to her friend.
yep, and just want the best out of the best situation out of her because she know that she cannot change her being with Takumi anymore.
I don't know.
So
I don't know, man.
just best be happy about that.
I'm not sure I agree.
Yeah,
Given how she approached the situation in episode 47 leading up to like leaving Nobu in the apartment alone so that Hachi would
yep,
potentially get back together with him.
yep, yep,
The things she said to Nobu
yep,
like were crazy.
yep,
Uh
yep,
I don't I don't know. I'm not sure what her motivation is. I mean, with regard to what she said to Nobu, obviously she was trying to manipulate him, and Shin even calls her out for it and says she's just trying to
yep,
manipulate you. Like he says the
yep,
words.
yep,
But in terms of what she's thinking about Hachi now,
yep,
and whether she wants her to be happy or not, I don't know. Because what she's
Mm.
like, if you think about what she said to Nobu, she she said, as long as I've known you, you've always loved like involving yourself in the lives of women and their problems that don't concern you.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
terrible thing to say, but if you
It
think about
is.
it, it also reflects on the way that the two of them met. Because
Yep.
when the two of them met in high school,
She was isolated.
yeah, she was completely isolated. There were rumors flying around about her, probably left and right.
Yep.
And Nobu found a friend in her and brought her into his like inner circle, and they started blast together. So she would also be one of the women that he in whose life he involved himself, even though it was none of his business.
Mhm.
It's as
Yeah.
though Nana is by criticizing Nobu that way. It's as though she's like discounting the importance of their friendship and the way that they
Mhm.
met,
Yep.
which is like at that point, it's as though she'll say anything to get what she wants. And we've
Yeah.
seen that sort of behavior from her in the past too.
Yeah. I think she's ready to burn all the bridges just to get what she wants, just to rile Nobu up. Not really sure what else she want to have. I think she want to have Hachi owned by herself at
Yeah,
that point. So
honestly,
she
yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no. I finished.
Oh,
Good.
what I
Go
was
ahead.
gonna say, I was gonna put a crazy theory out there. Honestly,
Yeah.
her obsession with controlling Hachi kind of
Mhm.
puts me back on the Hachi and Nana train.
Yeah. Go on.
Honestly, I think there might be like a one-sided attraction at this point from Nana towards Hachi.
Uh,
For
yes,
a
I know.
for a lot of the show's run, it's been Hachi who has been, kind of admiring Nana as somebody who belongs to like this
And
glamorous world. But
and
at
even
this
feeling
point,
jealous at one point.
what's that?
Even feeling jealous at one point.
Oh
Remember,
yeah,
the first fan, what's her name?
uh,
Come into the apartment and she feeling jealous
right.
of her.
Why can't I remember her name, man? It starts with an M, doesn't it?
Misato.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there was that. There's the fact that she like the there's the scene where they take the bath together.
Mhm.
That's something that Hachi is always like interested in doing, and Nana's like, leave me alone, give me my personal space. But now that Hachi has found like some measure of, I mean, obviously her relationship with Takumi is still full of problems. But
Yeah,
now that she's found some version of happiness and security with Takumi, it's actually Nana who's the one who's in like a less secure position.
yeah.
And as a
But
result, she may feel a stronger attraction to Hachi, like a
yeah,
stronger
well,
desire to rip her away from Takumi and possess her for herself. And there could be like romantic or sexual feelings involved in that desire.
yeah, but at the same time, there's still another triangle that she have to deal with, Ren and Yasu, and I think she have a very, really strong feeling for both of them.
Yeah, there's even a point in these like we get a lot of Nana's inner monologue on all sorts of topics, especially in episode
Yeah,
45 if I'm remembering correctly. That's the one where they're doing the TV program,
yep.
and as the program is running, we mostly just hear her thinking about how like her entire situation is BS. Like any relationship that she's going to have with Ren is going to have to be sanctioned by the public, and how she can never be happy on her own terms, and the fact that they have to project some sort of image for people to consume in order for their music to be heard is like you know not what she wants,
Hmm.
is basically a
Yep,
bunch of crap in her mind. She's like fuming over that. We also hear in her monologue at one point that when she's thinking about the fact that she slept together with Ren twice on the same, in the dressing room at the same time that he proposes to her. Afterwards, she thinks to herself, the only reason I was with him is because Yasu doesn't want me. when she proposes again to Yasu that they sleep together,
Yeah.
and he like basically brushes her off or ignores her, and she's there's like a gong sound, and she's like,
Yeah.
"Dong, what?" Uh,
Yep.
so that's pretty crazy that the guy who just proposed to you,
Yeah.
you would think, oh, the only reason that I was with him just now is because this other man has no interest in being with me. Uh, yeah, so her
Yeah.
love triangle is crazy. Like if you think
Yeah.
Nobu's love triangle between an actor who's pretending to be a different age, perhaps,
Yeah.
and a porn
Yeah.
star, you think that's weird. Uh, Nana's situation is twice as crazy.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. And twice more interesting as well.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
I guess. Yeah, I mean
uh,
Yasu also makes his interest in Yuri known during
yeah.
the mahjong game. I'm pretty sure that he says something like, "I would also like to make my candidacy known." He says
Yeah. Yeah.
some goofy phrase like that to make it clear that he's interested in Yuri as well, uh, which is pretty funny.
Yeah.
I
So
mean, Yasu's got to have like the patience of a saint, basically. So
yeah.
maybe
Nana
his
said that.
patience is running out, and he's trying to get some.
All right. My last question would be I heard that the anime version didn't reveal some of the detail that have in the manga at this point of time. Is that something that you can spoil now that we finish the anime, or is that something that I need to read more in the manga in order to find out myself?
Um, I don't really know. I don't like have a whole bunch of details already off the top of my head. I did
Right.
go into some of the manga chapters leading up to where we are in the
Yep.
anime.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
And one thing that I can say for sure is that the conversation that Yasu has with Ren in the bathroom stall about the fact that he's slipping
Yep.
back into drug use, while it's
Yep.
very vague in the anime, there's specifics in the manga.
Hmm.
He says you're falling back into addiction, and then marijuana is brought up specifically,
Yep.
and Ren's protesting like it's just marijuana, and Yasu says, yeah, and that's just going to lead you back into hard drugs
Yep.
as a gateway. So at this point we can
Hmm.
reasonably assume that Ren has been addicted to harder stuff
Yep.
in the past
Well,
and weaned
he's
himself
still
off of it, and now he's at risk of falling back into that dependency. So
yeah.
that's
Well,
different,
he's still alive 6 or 7 years into the future, so I don't mind that much. Enjoy your life while it lasts.
right? Well, I mean, given that he has proposed to Nana, I think I probably mind. Like, I
Yep.
think
Yeah,
especially
he's his
since
star.
she has her own troubles and needs somebody reliable to lean on.
Yep.
That's not really Ren.
Hmm.
Yasu, it's more Yasu.
Yeah,
Um,
true.
but that's not how, at least based on what we saw from the flash forward, it doesn't seem as though Nana and Yasu ever got together or anything happened between them. Though there's no way to know that for sure.
That's true. And the one more thing is that the flash forwards, is that something in the manga as well, or is that
Yeah.
really?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not just a device that the anime came up with in order to show what will happen in the future. The manga at this point actually starts to alternate between scenes in the future and scenes in the present.
But damn, all right.
Yeah, so it's like the entire storytelling method of the series shifts at this point.
Very interesting. I would say I can understand why. So that to keep Hachi and Nana as the two main protagonists, because maybe from now on they're not gonna be together that much.
I can't say
Yeah, very
because
interesting.
that would be a spoiler.
All right.
Um, yeah, I really love the flash forward. So
Yep.
my history with the Nana anime series was like I tried a couple times to get into it. It didn't really take. And then when I eventually watched the whole thing, like really fast, all in a blur,
Yeah.
When I got to the flash forward in the last episode, I was like, whoa. And of course, I read the manga from there. But I
Right.
really do like the flash forward a lot.
Hmm.
Now, just watching the anime, you wouldn't know. And in fact, you might assume that this is just a one off thing. But it is either way, like whether you know that the manga is going to continue this trend or not, it does signal like a big change in the
Hmm.
in the series. Um, and it kind of makes sense because you heard Hachi's narration at the start, then it
Yep.
switched over to Nana's point of view after the relationship between the two girls was fractured. And
How?
now the fact that they've seen each other and been friendly with each other, as anticlimactic as it may have been,
Yep.
there is a small like there's some healing of that relationship that happens in episode 47, even though there shouldn't be because Hachi doesn't know about all the stuff that went down in apartment 707 before she got there.
That's true.
But now we're back to Hachi being the narrator.
All right. How they do that in the manga is that they also have that the narration going on
As far
like to
as
book to book in the chapters.
as far as I remember, yes. Like how
Right.
speech bubbles are typically in circles when a character is talking, whereas
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
narration might be like in a rectangle or a square.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that chapters are begun and ended with narration, like in square text boxes. The
All right.
majority of them, and in both halves, like the half that the anime covers and the half that is like exclusive to the manga, as far as I
All right.
remember.
Yep. Yep.
Um,
Fair enough. All right. I
yeah.
think the last question should we continue to read the manga or we jump on to bad labor or whatever you spell that
Yeah.
the OVA.
Right.
So for now, I'm leaning more to the OVAs because it's something brand new and something that I reckon we're not gonna see we're not gonna do that on our bracket. So we're not gonna see that in any point in the future. So just may make that happen.
Right. Yeah. It might make sense to watch the Pat Labor OVA before, or the Pat Labor OVA, whatever, before
Yep.
the TV series. Am I interested in doing the Nana manga? Like, so and I've said before that the manga gets extremely depressing.
Oh,
Um,
all
so
right. I sell myself for that. I I will get to that edit episode. There's so much misery that we see so far in the anime already.
yeah, I don't know. Part of me doesn't want to do it for the podcast at all, but at the same
Yeah.
time, watching episode 47 again
Yeah.
is so like I feel the same intrigue that I felt when I watched it for the first time.
Right. Yeah.
Like I really feel like the flash forward is such a great move on the
Hmm.
show's part because it's so. First of all, it's heartening to see that Hachi is still friends with the other three members of Blast. That's wonderful, and she makes the promise, and this is something we haven't mentioned yet, but it's crucial, I think, to the continuation of the story. There always has to be that potential for Nana and Hachi to see each other
Hmm.
again.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, and Hachi says like one of the last shots of the series is through the window of apartment 707 you see the yukata on the bed folded up.
Hmm.
And Hachi's narration says there will always be a place for you here, like your yukata will be ready if it's 10 years from now or 20 or 50. Will
Hmm.
I'll be waiting for you, which is
Yep.
amazing. It's amazing
Yep.
for somebody to promise that uh, to another human being. Like I'll wait 10, 20, or 50 years as long as it takes.
Hmm.
Um, so I've kind of just lost my train of thought, but
Yep. Yep. All right.
the
So
flash
if
forward's great for that reason. Like it excludes Nana, so you don't see her, but the potential for her to rejoin even though she doesn't want to, like in one of her bits of narration, she says, "It scares me that if I were to see everyone again, I would just fall
Mhm.
back into depending on them and relying on them."
Hmm.
This is when future Nana is addressing Hachi, maybe in episode 45 or
Hmm.
even at the end of 46. I don't know. But so Nana is afraid to come
Yeah.
back, even though the show in the flash forward creates the perfect space for her. Back at
Yep.
apartment 707, same group of characters we love. The mood is good, but Nana's not there. So you can
Yep.
imagine her there, but given her behavior in the present and given her narration from the future, we don't know if it'll ever happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
intrigue is like off the charts. What's going to happen next? And I kind of want to go through the manga to re-experience
Yeah.
it and maybe
So,
discover a little bit more joy in it together. Like if we if
sure.
we are able to do it
Yeah.
side by side instead of me just like lying in bed reading the manga on my laptop crying.
Suffer
Uh,
alone. Yep. So give it some more thought. We're gonna decide that on the next one to see if we still keep on reading the manga or we go to the OVA of Bad Labor.
right. Yeah, and we'll be back in 2 weeks. I think we're doing another episode in 2 weeks. And 3 weeks after that, it'll be the wrap up, the
Yep.
summer season wrap up. And once we get to that point, we're headed for, you know, end of the year, anime of the year 2023. It's not too far off,
Yeah. So quick. Everything happens so quickly.
especially in Nana.
That's right. That's right. It's especially Nana. Alrighty.
For now, though, we made it. We made it to, if not the end, we made it to an ending. And it
Yep.
was pretty, I enjoyed the journey. It was fun.
I enjoyed the journey as well. I would definitely say that is on my top 10 of top anime of
Yeah.
2000s.
I mean, I
Uh,
definitely would. I know
yeah.
for sure there are some shows you need to finish before you say something like that. uh, but yeah, I think it makes sense to put it up there.
Right. Alrighty. So bye for now, and we gonna see you again soon for the next new project
Yeah.
of
See you
classic
soon.
anime.